In 2023, I took a solo trip to South Africa, and today I want to tell you guys that story. I flew into Johannesburg and I spent a week in Pretoria. I decided to document my uncle's business and how he produces leather goods. I learned a lot about South Africa's history and culture. I hope you guys enjoy and you learn something just like I did. This journey starts in London Heathrow. I had a 6-hour layover, so I decided to go uptown. I took the train from the airport into Paddington Station. It almost feels surreal being here because I do vaguely remember being here at least one other time. Paddington Station is like the Grand Central Station of London. It's a central hub where you can do shopping as well. It's the perfect place for us to be a tourist for the day. Luckily, I came at a great time of year. London seems like it would be a great city to live in, and maybe I'm just saying that because I'm visiting. It doesn't feel as commercial as some places in the US. Like if I went to New York, everything would just feel a lot more high tech. I like the kind of low tech aesthetic of London. I decided to try out big bus tours. They had a really good map of London where you can go around and see all of the major monuments. You can get off at any point and stop and walk around if you want to. If you're liking the video so far, don't forget to leave a like and drop a comment down below. Thank you. So this was the first time I took a double-decker bus around the city of London. I've been through London before, but I've never been able to see the city like this. There's a lot that I wanted to stop and see, but my flight to South Africa is going to be leaving in about 5 hours. My favorite camera on this trip was the Insta360 X3. You're going to be seeing it a lot in this video because it did such a great job of capturing my entire environment in 360 degrees, which allowed me to get some really incredible shots throughout this entire trip. We also got to see one of London's most famous landmarks, Big Ben. I highly recommend checking out big bus tours. They do a great job of showing you all of the monuments and historical places in London, as well as giving you the opportunity to get off the bus and walk around and take pictures and eat food. I did end up getting off myself. I wanted to explore and walk around. I ended up taking out my drone and getting some beautiful drone shots of the city. And this was one of the highlights of my trip so far, being able to fly my drone and see London from the skies. The last leg of the tour was a full circle that went back up to Paddington Station. The ferry ride was awesome. We got to see a lot of views from the water as well. I really enjoyed this. The flight from London to Johannesburg was 11 hours. I slept most of the way there, and the next day I woke up in Johannesburg. So I guess this is where the journey actually begins.
Yeah. Black, beautiful ghetto child, I hope you hear me. Your story should inspire you, don't let it break you down. If your people can empower you, don't let them pull you down. What goes around comes around, fam, this side is paramount. If you didn't get the memo, now you know I'm from the ghetto. Booze, money, sex and drugs and murder cases in the ghetto. Lack of motivation and vision, division is killing, misleading of living. Beliefs and religion is making us forget who we are. Look at what we've become, ain't no love for one another. Can't even trust one another, but it's never too late. It takes you and I to make this world a better place.
Hey.
My name is Morris Thompson. My business is Skarf Leather. The business involved the making of leather goods. I started this business 2012. It was a much smaller thing. I was using someone else's capacity. until I built my own capacity and built my own studio, my own leather studio. I still manufacture my own brand, but the business has expanded to be one that also repairs. We make sandals as well, and we repair almost any type of shoe. We repair furniture, sofa, we make cushions. Right now we're in Pretoria, South Africa, and years ago I came here, and a friend that happens to be a distant relative came here. He was doing postgraduate study. At the time I was in England and I was working. I took leave and I came down here and I found love. Love has kept me here in South Africa. I studied here at the university, Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. At the time it was actually University of Port Elizabeth. Once you have a small business in South Africa, you will be involved a lot of problem solving, a lot. You know, right now the country is experiencing what they call load shedding, because the power, the energy that is being generated on the grid is not enough for the entire country. So they have to, what they call load shed, give energy to one section of the country at a certain time, and then, you know, so you have to work around that, and that involves a lot of problem solving. There are days that I source a lot of resource that we use. The hardest part of growing a small business where you require the capacity of others will be your employees. My place is a place of learning. You know, I like to teach. I don't know if it's because when I was a young man, in my university days, I used to teach at an high school. I used to teach chemistry and physics. It has never left me. I've never gone back to teaching, but it has never left me. I've always liked to instruct. When people are properly instructed, people will do the right thing. My business is a place of learning. And when customer comes, I tell them how to treat their product or items. They ask questions, and I go beyond just the average person, you know. I want to tell them, don't expose this to such and such. Look out for such and such. This is not leather. Show them how to identify leather. I am hoping at some point in time, someday, I will build a leather school to train people in all aspects of leather work. Because it's not just about cutting. It's not about just design. It involves knowing the science of leather, how leather behaves, how to treat leather, how to dye leather, how to change the color of leather, you know how to deal with leather. You know, like this morning, I got a call from a customer. They had a armchair, which for 30 years, and over the years, the armrest has worn out. They came to me, and I had to find a leather that matches. And I had to rebuild the armrest in such a way that it looks like it was the same thing. And the customer called me after they collected their items and said, you know, we just want to thank you so much because we are very pleased. That, when a customer is pleased, that makes me very happy. You know?
Hey, go greet your cut.
Hey, Peter.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good.
How was school today? Yes. Do you have everything? Let me ask you several times again. Do you have everything, Peter? Do you have everything? Do you have everything?
If you know, so me I tell him say, you're the first man. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, yeah, Christopher Columbus. You know, he's the first one that came to South Africa, come do postgraduate studies, and invited me, Geraldo, Sean, yeah, because of this guy, you know, and we were at high school together.
Okay.
St. Catherine High, you know, and we were at high school with the present Prime Minister and his wife as well, of Jamaica.
Okay.
So we were with the leadership. He came this morning, so this is the Carib. It's a drive.
He's my cousin.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Rahiem.
Julie.
Ducky. And Julie.
Yeah, keep me Manolo.
Who, what?
Manolo.
Bonolo? Okay. Yep, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You like that one?
It looks pretty.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna do a day in the life of the student. So, alright, so you know what that means. The student can look like crap, alright? Please.
So I hope that's a good overview of Skarf and who my uncle is. Now let's interview some of his employees and see what they have to say.
My name is Lucky, and Sene Mutsipe, and I'm from Kempton Park, Rhodesfield in South Africa.
Hi, yo, it's Vano Longkadiming and stage name Jody, and all the way from Nel Matthews, Station 24.
Okay, basically I'm from, I was based in Rhodesfield, in South Africa. The way I got my skills was from my mom, who's actually the supervisor here, basically second in command. So since I was a kid, she's been showing me the basics about lathe and stuff like that. Then after school, I basically joined her, so that's how I developed my skills, and I'm still enhancing my skills as time goes by. Yeah.
And me, so my mom knew Mr. Morris, so actually I got my skill from here. So there was a guy who was working here. His name was Ellis. He's the one who taught me how to, make shoes, how to use the cotton, and I learned everything from Skarf actually.
My name is Given Muzipe, and I own Metisha Wamatari Art and Craft Studio, and I reside in Kempton Park, Rhodesfield. As Skarf, I'm a crafter, a senior crafter, and I manage the business, and I also work as a stitcher. What I love about my job, this kind of job for me, it comes naturally. So I don't feel like it's a job. You know, when you love something, it's like a part of you. So even when I'm at home, this is the same thing I do. So I can't say I'm working. It's like a hobby for me. I took after my great-grandmother. This is her. She passed on in 2017. She was born 1900, so she passed on when she was 117 years old. So she was a handcraft guru, leather work. She did art and craft in general. So I would say I took after her because all this comes naturally to me. And here in front of me, I have this bowl which she made with her hands. As you can see, inside here it's painted. But what formed the structure is the container, where we put the eggs in. She put that in water and mixed it with other things to form the structure. And then she used soil on the outside. So she was a very good hand worker. So I could say that I'm carrying on her legacy.
This entire country has an amazing history. They speak 11 different languages here, including Zulu, Xhosa, Afrikaans. The seasons are completely opposite on this side of the world. So my uncle was telling me that in June and July, they can experience some of their coldest winters. South Africa is known as the Rainbow Nation. It gets that name because of its cultural diversity, its language diversity, and its religious diversity. The country has deep roots in dance and music. South African people are known to be very good craftsmen. My family went to go visit this museum in Maropeng. It's called the Cradle of Humankind, and it's located 50 kilometers northwest of Johannesburg. It's known to have the skeleton of one of the first ever humans. It has a rich record of human evolution spanning over 3 million years. So this is literally what they would consider the birthplace of humanity. The museum that we went to had a whole 4 billion year timeline that shows how Earth was evolved. They also took us on a short boat ride through all of the 4 elements. This entire experience has been surreal. Finally getting to go somewhere that you've heard about your entire life is just surreal. South Africa's first democratic election was in 1994, which marked the end of apartheid, and that's when Nelson Mandela was elected, the first black president. That says a lot about the racial segregation that was happening in the country. It reminds me of the same issues that we have in the United States. The people that I met here were all very kind. This visit to Pretoria Zoo was one of my favorite parts of my trip.
Oi! Hi! Greenpeace, I'm saving the environment and saving the oceans and stopping some of the taxes. Greenpeace! Yeah! Where are you from?
United States.
What is it? What are you doing here?
Visiting my uncle.
While I was here, I had plenty of genuine and great conversations with people that I never thought that I would ever be able to meet in my life. They were very much interested in where I was from and the culture and background that I have, and so was I. So it was natural that I had some great conversations with people here. This will not be the last time that I'll be in South Africa. I have my sights set on Cape Town next, but for now, this was one of those trips that will go down in the history book, at least for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, you learned something. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
It's been a long week, my friend. It's been a long week. Yeah. Don't worry, it's been a long week, man. We will get there, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get there.